and welcome to this episode of Cooking with Carter. We're happy to have everybody with us today. Sorry it's been a while. We've had the holidays and some things going on. Hope everybody had a great New Year, a great Christmas, and everything like that. Today we're going to do a blue velvet cake. I would like to mention the sign behind me has been done by Emily. I mentioned her before in a couple of shows that I've had on in season 3. She did the other sign that you've seen, which is much smaller. Actually, Emily is here with us today, and she's going to be asking questions, helping us out, that kind of thing. She does speak. It's okay.
Hello.
It's a camera. There you go. A little nervous, but it's all right. I want to go ahead and go over just a couple things that with the ingredients that I have. I've got my stand mixer actually disassembled. This is just the mixing part of it from the stand mixer. I have the long beaters, not the short ones this time, that go with that. We've got our standard mixing bowl to put our ingredients in. We have our standard cake mix. We have 3 eggs, a stick of butter. That has been softened. Make sure when you get your butter out and things like that, you leave it out for a little while. Let it get to room temperature. It's not going to be really soft, but it's gonna lighten up a little bit, make the cake nice and fluffy. I have about 2/3 of a cup of water. I also have about 1/4 of a cup of oil, which I've already went ahead and put into these spring form pans. Now there are 2 of these, which that will show. And all you do once you get them is just move your oil around so that it actually can just, you want it to coat the whole bottom of the pan. All right, that helps to prevent from sticking. In addition to that, I've got some cooking spray over here, which Max is going to pass to me, and I'm also going to spray this down. Now, there's 2 things about these springform pans, okay? The springform pans, you've got to make sure to grease them well so that the cake will not stick. Okay? Thank you, Miss Emily. There we go. All right, so that's done, and that does it for the springform pan. Got the lid back on the cooking spray. All right, let me explain just a little bit about the springform pan and what I mean by that. Okay, what we're going to do, there's a little flap over here on the springform pan. Okay, now I'm going to do it with this one, and all we're going to do, I'm going to lift that out. Back, there you go. Okay, that allows for that to come out. We don't need to do it with the other one. We'll just leave that one there. Okay, and then once we set this back in, Max, I might get your hand. I'm going to hold that there so it actually will pick back up. That will grab it. Okay, I didn't want to get anything too greasy. That's why I decided just to do it with that one. So now that you've seen kind of what the pans do, very quick story. Please fill these pans half full. Let me explain why. The first time I had ever did a cake, we had started to do it on camera, and I said, no, I'm not going to do it because something bad might happen. I just don't know. I've never done a cake before. I'm going to try it. We're going to see how it goes. So we decided to use little 8-inch pans. Well, myself decided to fill them fully, totally not thinking about cake rises. And when it did, it rose and caused a very, very, very small fire in the bottom of my stove.
Small fire, big flame.
Yeah, which we had to clean and scrape and clean and scrape and leave the apartment for the oven cleaner to finish working. So that was the story of the cake. So what we're going to do...
We started, I think, trying to do the cake around 5 or 6 at night. And with everything else that went wrong and we had to clean and everything, we didn't get done until about 2 in the morning.
2 in the morning. The cake was so good. Oh my God, the cake turned out perfectly. It was a chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. All right, so what we are going to do now, I also wanted to mention before I get started, I went ahead, this is just a kind of unique little thing. We cut the recipe off the back of the box, just to go by. It's very simple. All you're going to do is combine everything. This is going to be baked for approximately 23 to 30 minutes. You want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 300. We've already pretty much done that. We put it back off because it had preheated so quickly. Didn't think it was going to do that, but it did. That's all right. It's a cooking show. We are allowed to make mistakes. So we're going to go ahead, and now we're going to combine our cake mix, our eggs, and our butter. And we're going to do this very easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and break up my eggs. Just like that. Thank you, dear. I can do that with, I can do it with a mixer, Max, it's fine.
Okay. I was gonna get the big fork.
Okay, you can do that too. Or just a regular fork will work fine. You just set that down for me.
How would you get a nice clean break on the egg?
Well, it depends on, actually, you want to make sure that you're breaking it on a hard surface. Throw that away for me. And if you, I was gonna break it on the plastic bowl. Max, pass me a napkin back there. Let me just get the excess egg yolk here. It's harder to get a clean break if it's not on a hard surface, because your shell will crack too much and you can actually get shell in your egg. So you want to be very careful of that. So just break it on a hard surface or a glass bowl, depends on what you want to use. So I'm going to just wipe this up real quick.
Wipey wipe.
We clean up the messes on this show.
I try to.
Alright, trash that for me. I'll take the fork. Now, very simple with the fork. We're just going to go ahead and break these up. Just poke them in the middle. Nice even round circles. Don't have to do too much because I'm going to do it with a mixer. So that takes care of that. Max can throw that in the sink if you will. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and dump the cake mix in.
I want to, if you need to, open it more.
Yeah, I think you're alright.
Or maybe not. Yeah, help me out.
Yeah, it's, might want to, there we go, rip that open just a little bit, be careful. Just going to take that away from under there. And 4 hands make light work. Oh, there we go. The manly cameraman rips it open, and we have no problem now.
Well, I'm all the man you need.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's not let the cake batter fly everywhere. All right. Okay. There we go. That's out of there. Now,
Please, thank you.
all right.
Oh, if you want to pass me that, I can get that ready for you.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna pass Max the mixer. Let him plug that in,
And
and also the beaters.
the beaters. The cameraman didn't get the small ones this
Yes,
time.
there we go. We can actually reach the bowl because we've detached the mixer.
Oh, it's also not the same bowl from last time. So, you know.
All right. Oh yeah, butter's nice and soft.
Good. Good. Yummy.
I'm gonna drop that in there like that. Gonna go ahead and pour the water in also. And we might need a little bit more water. I don't know how fluffy this is gonna be, but we'll find out. It called for 2/3 cup of water, but it could be wrong.
Want me to fill some more up?
Just in case.
I'll do that when we need it.
In the bowl we go. This is very simple.
Let's see this being messy at all.
And if your butter doesn't want to go, just knock it on the side of the bowl a little bit. And we're going to stop for a second. hold that mixer there in the way, if you will, on Max. All right. I'm gonna put my take the butter up here and just kind of mash it in here a little bit. That's the benefit of having
6 hands.
Yep, there we go. Now I'm gonna need.
Should have kept that towel.
Yeah.
Do not wipe your shirt.
I will not. That would be a bad idea. I'm a Smurf. Not exactly. She
Not
exploded.
exactly.
Yeah. She
No.
This
exploded.
is her remains.
Yeah, that's her remains, right?
Papa
there.
Smurf, no!
How could you do such a horrible thing?
Gargamel.
No. Yes.
Now we're the Gargamel.
Oh, okay. That was actually.
Thunder cracks in the
Yeah, it
background.
really. All right. So.
We're nerds.
Okay.
But we're awesome.
And proud.
There we go.
Okay.
That's much better. Now, mixing at a low speed just to incorporate everything first. Okay, once we get everything incorporated, we can crank her up a little bit. As I said, the mixer's got some power. And I think we're going to be okay with the water. I thought we were not, but as I said, the mixer's pretty powerful. And nice and incorporated in there.
No.
Yep, I know. And that is a well-mixed
I just want to leave it
batter.
hanging.
Okay, now I'm going to just push the button and release the mixers. You pull the mixers out of there for me.
Yeah.
Got that. And that. There we go. Okay, that takes care of that. Thank you, dear.
Welcome.
Now, yeah, you can lick the beaters. Everybody licks the beaters, but we're not going to. We're just going to sit them on the
I'm
napkin.
very tempted to.
Oh, I know.
Oh no.
And the main problem I have with that is you want to, and actually what Emily's doing now is just scraping down the sides of the bowl. So we get everything in there, which we've already scraped them down pretty good, but she's just going to scrape down the sides
Some
of the bowl.
excess powder.
Yep. Alrighty. It should be good. About licking the beaters, there's a couple good things you can do. It's not really going to hurt you. I am very, very cautious about raw egg. You have to be, I mean, you got to be worried about, salmonella, things like that, and just, it's a salmonella, sorry. Said salmonella. Simon did it! It was Simon's fault!
It's Nella.
But anyway, okay, so we've got that. We've got everything mixed. Now what we're going to go ahead and do is turn the oven back on 300. We're going to go ahead and turn the overhead fan on, so you're going to hear just a little bit of noise. High, yeah. Now, I'm actually going to have Max help out with this part just because I want to make sure to try to get these pans half full, and it's difficult because we don't have as much cake batter as I thought we were going to have. Usually when you do a double layer cake, you have 2 boxes, but we've got 1 box. We should be fine. So we're going to get a utensil here to help kind of even things out. I'm going to get a nice big spoon. Now if you want to, I'm going to pour, if you don't mind, I'm going to pour from this way.
Okay.
And we're going to spread that out. Oh, yeah.
Can't see how much there is. So.
Just be a little bit on the top.
I'll let you look at that and see. We're going to need to get a bit more because it's not quite. We might be able to only do 1 layer. I'm not really sure if we're going to get 2 layers out of that. Because that's not even going to be a 1/4 of the way full.
I just have to put it all in here.
Yep, might going to be 1 layer, I think so.
This is the smaller pan.
Yep. I don't think she's going to go over. Yep, we're only able to do one layer, but that's okay. Cake's still going to be a cake.
Still gonna be blue, and it's still gonna be delicious.
Yep.
Spread it
Yeah,
all
we'll get the rest of that in there too. It's going to be alright. It's not even. We got some on the back side there.
Let me know if you need me to look for it.
Very good, actually. Now, I actually want to ask a question to my viewers, and Emily brought this up earlier before we started the show. I was taking a look at, there were nice camera work there, man, with the blue hands, got the handle up there, look at that. I've seen a lot of cake recipes and brownie recipes that call for milk. For some reason, this one did not call for any milk, any oil, anything like that, just straight water. I've never seen that. I was actually confused by it.
A little bit perplexed.
Alright, so that's going to give us our cake now. We got just about everything out of there. Smurfette would be happy. She would be proud. Her cake remains will be enjoyed by few. Actually by many, but we weren't going to say
By
that.
many of us.
Alright, so we're going to spread this out now. Go ahead and get rid of the bowl. And we'll just, all you want to basically do is just take your spoon, as Max was starting to do there, and you want to kind of go in the same direction. If you go in the same direction, you might have to go a little bit different because you want to get it evenly spread out throughout the pan. And I did oil that and pan that, so it should not stick at all. That's pretty even.
Will it change the consistency of the cake without oil or milk?
In the bottom of the pan, no, because it's still going to firm up. That's a good question.
Just in case our viewers couldn't hear, would you mind saying that again?
I was asking, will it change the consistency of the cake if there is no oil or milk needed in it?
Well, again, there's a little bit of oil in the bottom of the pan, but as far as the oil or milk, that actually, in my opinion, always gave it a fluffier instance or fluffier consistency to begin with. But I've never done one with just water. I've always added milk, and you can substitute it. It just depends on how you want to do it. If you want to, as far as that's concerned. So now what we've done, we have cake icing sitting over here in the sink in a bowl with warm water. That actually should be good, Max. We can go ahead and pull that and show the viewers real quick. We put it in a bowl and we set the bowl, set a cutting board on top of the bowl, just to show what we're doing as far as with the cake. Oh yeah,
It's easy now, though.
it should be all right. And what that did, that actually, we got a little bit of water in there. It's not going to hurt it too bad. Just have to be kind of slow with the dredging process. So when the light goes off, we're going to go ahead and cook this in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. When we come back, we'll show you how the cake looks, and we'll ice it. You want to let it cool for about 15 minutes after you bake it. Let it cool completely before you ice it. We'll be right back with Emily, myself, and Max on Cooking with Carter. See you in a bit. Alright, so we're back, and what we went ahead and done is taken the cake out of the oven. And I've actually started frosting, and I want to show you how I do that. I haven't spreaded it yet because I wanted to do some of this on camera. We took a gallon freezer bag, and we turned it inside out and spooned the frosting into it.
Ready?
And we cut off a piece of the end. And what Max is doing right now is clipping the excess portion. The tip is right down here. You'll be able to see as I'm able to draw a line with direct pressure. I'm just going to go around in a little line like this, and you'll hear that. It's just nice to have control. It's not as messy. You can just continue to go around. A little bit goes down the side. That's fine. Because you're going to frost. Now, I will not do this for the sides. You can. But I will not do this for the sides. So I'm going to squeeze most of this out of here. You can change hands. Max just turned the cake so I could get this side pretty well. You can do it fast, you can do it slow, you can do it messy, and get frosting on your finger. Alright, Max, I'm going to get you just to take that for me. We're going to start spreading this. Now, I like to use these, which are the spreaders. If you want to go ahead and wash your hands there, Max. Just nice and even. Direct pressure, just don't need a lot. You can frost the whole cake pretty easily. You can go around the sides. You can go around the end. Max, can I get you to go ahead and turn that?
Yes.
Now Max is just turning and I'm just using the little frosting spoon. Now we didn't put all of the frosting in the bag because I wanted to do some of it traditionally. You have to wait about 15 to 20 minutes. Max, I'll get you to turn this some more if you don't mind. Emily's putting a little bit of pressure on the sides, just helping to frost it. Okay. Max is cleaning off the table.
And then dirtying out my hands again.
Yep.
I'm looking too bad.
And when you go to frost the sides, you turn it up like this and just press lightly. And if you need more frosting, you can do more frosting. I'm actually going to get just a little bit for the sides. Okay. Max, I'll get you to turn that. Hold right there. Again, that same, if you keep that same consistent pressure all the way around, you'll be fine. And the frosting's going to be a little bit runny, but that's okay. And Max again just turning it. I'm just keeping the pressure. Nothing too difficult. Right around. Okay.
There's a side over here that could use your attention.
Okay. Alright, now we got a side over here that's not quite finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip in the frosting again. Don't need a lot. Press right here. Max is going to turn very gently, very easily, and okay, you can see we want to make it an even cut. A little bit of pressure, a little bit of movement, and you basically have a well frosted cake. And you basically just smooth out your edges. You can also turn over your little spatula. Got plenty of frosting on both sides. A little bit of frosting right here. There she is. She's frosted. You can spin her around, make sure we got everything. Looks like we do. None of the sides are showing. What you don't want is you don't want cake to show through. So if we've got a little bit that's shown through where Max can see, he'll put just a tiny bit of pressure and just push it around and just make it. You want to try to get it as even as possible to where it looks like kind of one line, to where it's very sharp edges. Now, Emily, do you remember the question you asked me about the making a double layer cake and cutting the top off when it's flat?
Yes.
Okay. What Emily had asked me off camera was, do you want to go ahead and cut the top of your cake? I like to make mine flat. You can do that on a double layer cake. On a single layer, you really don't want to, because I like the form of the single layer cake, And the top layer, you're only going to cut a small section of that poofy part that I would call off of there to make them sit evenly with each other. You also take them out upside down. Okay? When you cut the tops off, you flip them over. After you cut the tops off, you flip them over and put them in upside down, so you're frosting the bottom part, the even part of the cake. So the cake is frosted. Emily's just doing one more small little piece over here.
Smoothing it out a little bit.
Yep. And you notice that one you don't want to go a bunch of directions on this. It's kind of like coloring a picture. This is where you eat with your eyes first, that kind of thing. So now I'm just going to go ahead and put this other little frosting batter thing.
Doesn't matter what spatula you use.
I like a flat rounded, and I know that sounds funny, but honestly, if you look at the edge of both of these, you can see how they're flat, but they have rounded edges. This one has a square edge. That one has more rounded edge. It's kind of, this one, and I like to use the bigger one to cover more surface area. So I'm just going to sprinkle some sprinkles on here. You can top this with anything. Okay, I would like to show you a trick. Let me get just a cup, just a basic. Wait a minute. Get a cup out of the cupboard there. If you've got a salt shaker or anything like that, you can use a salt shaker to do this. That'll be fine. Set these down. Take that. I'm going to again. This comes in with CP, guys, talking about control and things like that. Not having the control that I want. You can also do just a little tiny, cut in the aluminum foil and sprinkle it that way. Okay, I'm going to go with the first cup first. Just watch this. I can control the cup better than I can control the sprinkle dish because it's too big. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. You don't have to rush through this. Just controlled speed. And again, get Max to turn this around. And you can also do it the way Emily's doing it, where you pick them up and you sprinkle them on there. Right on the sides. Okay. And we're both having fun, all having fun putting sprinkles on the cake. And she was so nice to dump the rest of them in there for me. I really don't like candy-coated sprinkles on a cake, but I thought these are cute, so I just went ahead and did it because I wanted to show an episode where you eat with your eyes. There you go. It's frosted the way I like it. It's sprinkled the way I like it. Maybe it's too cluttered for you. Well, you know what? If it's too cluttered for you, you can't have any. All right, so let me just show real quick. We're going to go ahead and slice a piece of this. Now, I have a little cake cutter that came with my my slicer. Yeah, let me get one of the blue plates there, darling. She's just going to grab one of the plastic ones. Will be fine. I'm going to sit that there. Now, I'm actually going to use a smooth edge knife on this. I will serve it with this. Grab a knife out of the block there, Max. Okay, when I go, again, we're working, let me get one of the bigger ones. We're working with a sharp knife here, guys. So that's fine. You want to be very careful when you do this. Okay, run just a little bit of cold water on this knife. That is a trick to doing this so that the knife does not stick. You can use cold water. You can use warm water. You can use lukewarm. Really doesn't matter. You want your knife to glide through. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. Alright, so we'll go right here from the middle down. straight in, straight down. I'm going to go right there. It's a good sized piece.
It's not connecting.
Okay. I'm just going to go down the same line. And then down the other same line. And you can see how it's not sticking. It does stick just a little bit. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take that. Give that back to knife.
To knife.
To knife.
It's a knife on Cooking with Carter.
On camera. Comes right out of there easy. Look at that. Look at that. How pretty is that? Okay, Mac's just going to use the back of the knife to slide it off the spatula. Now, I just want to show you guys the inside of this. Okay, you can see how it's blue all the way through. Look at how pretty that cut was. Just almost spin this around. Okay, that's a good size right there. I'll let everybody get a small piece of the cake that I cut, and we'll try her out. We'll let ladies go first this time, since I have my sweet little Emily here with me today. We'll let her cut, and then we'll let the cameraman cut, and the cook will go last. How about that? All right, go ahead there, Max. Go ahead there, Miss Emily.
Still warm.
Ooh, it's so moist it's falling apart.
Very moist. Warm and moist.
All right. Let me just go over here. Oh, yeah.
That's perfect.
Mm. You know, I really thought that icing was going to be overly sweet, but it's not. It's creamy. It is sweet. It does have a sweet texture to it. The sprinkles give it a little bit of crunch, and the blue icing makes your lips looks like you kissed a Smurf, but I didn't. So it's okay.
He's not dying. He can breathe.
I have plenty of air circulation. So that will do it for this episode of Cooking with Carter, where the meals we make are worth the wait. We will see you again next time. Take care. Bye, everybody.